When I think about faith and when I think about what it takes to be on a rooftop in a tent this long, it takes a lot of persistence. It takes a lot of courage and tenacity.
Chicago Pastor Corey Brooks is ending his nearly year-long rooftop campaign. Pastor Brooks has lived in these tents that you see right here since November of 2021.
I see a lot of people look at these young guys and they see criminals and they see individuals who may not deserve another chance. But when I look at them, I see how far they've come.
After raising $20 million, he has enough money now to build the center. This morning, he's leaving the roof for good for a ceremonial groundbreaking on the new center.
Some of them have come out of gang backgrounds. Some of them have come out of single-parent households. When I look at a young man's face that we've been working with for years and I know that he finally gets it, that keeps my faith going. That locks me in and it keeps me from not wanting to throw in the towel. Well, I made it, right? This morning I woke up at 5 a.m. to tell you thank you, to tell you how much I appreciate you, to tell you how much what you've helped us to accomplish here on the south side of Chicago. You did not have to believe in what we're attempting to do to build this center and change some lives, but you did. And I want you to know it is very much appreciated. So today is a great day.
I think we are crazy. If you're crazy for a good cause, if you're crazy to change lives, if you're crazy to change a neighborhood, we were excited about doing something for our 10-year anniversary, and we just came up with this idea to replicate exactly what happened 10 years ago.
There was this motel across the street from our church that was full of all kind of illegal activity. And so I went to talk to the owner about buying it, and I never will forget what he said to me. There's a church over there, there's a church over here, and he said, what makes you any different that you're going to be able to do something about what's going on? I took that personal. I ended up eventually going on top of the roof of that motel and staying there for 94 days, refusing to come down.
After the recent shooting of a teenage boy, the pastor decided to take a stand.
You know, to see a young 16-year-old boy with his mouth open, his eyes still open, and his body in a white bag zipped up to his neck.
We were able to purchase it and tear it down, and instantly prostitution went down, drug dealing went down, murders went down.
It's time to celebrate phase one, but after this weekend, Monday, we get back on the grind and we start all over again, starting phase two to build the most magnificent building you've ever seen on the south side of Chicago.
It isn't Thanksgiving, but it's a day of thanks for Pastor Brooks.
Absolutely.
You have done an incredible feat. Many critics said you couldn't do it. You're raising awareness for the violence in Chicago in a neighborhood that has historically been violent. I used to live in the projects down the street.
What will this community center do for the neighborhood and Chicago overall?
When you talk about transformation and you talk about trying to get rid of violence, trying to get rid of poverty, this community center is going to be at the center of making things different, helping people to transform their lives.
This man has been on this roof for an entire year through rain, snow, extreme heat. He's lost friends that have died to gun violence while on this roof. His mother was sick and eventually passed while on this roof.
When my mom was dying of cancer, I was able to spend the last 30 days with her. And so after she passed away, I really struggled with, okay, do I go back? But the one thing that made me go back was the fact that when my mother was sick, she had told me, Corey, you know, when you were little and when you were growing up, I always used to tell you, finish what you start.
He could have used any excuse to say, hey, I need a break, I can't do this anymore. But because of his love and concern for this neighborhood and for this community, he stayed there to finish the job. One of my favorite scriptures says, faith without works is dead. A lot of times when we talk about faith, we think of faith in terms of success. But the real key is, can you have faith even in failure? When things aren't going your way, when things don't materialize. It's taken him 10 years to get to where we are today. And faith requires you to see what the normal eye cannot see. Even though my community is in a place of dire straits, I can see young men trading in a gun, an illegal gun, for a hammer. I can see a young lady opening their business, even though there's extreme poverty around. Faith requires me to see that it is literally turning the invisible into the visible.
If my mom could see, or if she were here, she would be so happy and elated. But she would also insist, you know, there's so much more to do, so much work that needs to be accomplished. So she would definitely tell me, you know, celebrate this victory, but there's more victories to win.
I heard a quote that blessed me so much that I want to close with. What do you get from passing a test? The reward of the next test. And I'm just thankful that God saw fit to let me pass this test so I can move on to the next test. God bless y'all. Thank y'all.
We're going to ask everybody to get their shovel. And on the count of 3, this is our official groundbreaking ceremony when our shovels go on the ground. 1, 2, 3. Come on, let's celebrate everybody. I'm not waiting on government to come in and save the day and fix our problems, because when you look at our community, you can see that it's been ravished. But yet we just keep running to politicians and government to fix it, and they never do. I believe that the power lies within us as a community and as a people to change the direction of our community and to change the direction of our lives. If the American dream is not possible, then we're all hopeless. It's all for nothing. That if it's not possible and it's not achievable, then we're just living a fantasy world. And I don't believe I'm living in a fantasy world. The reason why it's so important for a child on the south side of Chicago to have the American dream is because they live here in America. What good does it do to live in the best country in the world and feel like you're not part of it? So we need these children, we need these young people to have the American dream, to believe that it's achievable, to believe that it's possible. Because if not, we'll see communities that are deprived of life and joy, and we'll see communities that are full of violence and sadness, and we don't want that. And the only way to change it is we have to get young people from our community to buy into the fact that the American dream is possible, not just for a few individuals, but it's possible for every individual, regardless of your walk of life and your circumstances and where you're from.